gleichzeitig überall das Licht als Lücke im System.
Liebe Kolleginnen und Kollegen, ihr seid nicht allein.
Massive protests erupted in Cologne on Thursday as student groups and social organizations rallied against Chancellor Friedrich Merz's proposed conscription law just a day before the Bundestag is set to vote on the measure. Demonstrators filled the streets holding flags, banners and signs that read, "Never again conscription, screw conscription, and we will not die for the wars of the fat cats."
Mr. Merz should go to the front himself and risk his own life. I have lived through war. Yes, I experienced war as a child, and I know how terrible it is. This is only for the profit of the big arms companies.
One protester delivered a scathing message directed at Merz, saying they had lived through war as a child and knew how devastating it was. The demonstrator accused the government of pushing conscription to serve the interests of big arms companies, insisting that the Chancellor should go to the front himself. From the stage, youth activists condemn the government for treating young people as a resource to be exploited, warning that mandatory service would force unwilling citizens into military duty. They argued that Germany's leaders repeatedly shift long-standing structural problems, from underfunding to poor planning, onto the younger generation.
I stand here and I see young people raising their voices against a government that sees them only as a resource to be exploited. Young people who are to be drafted, who are to be obliged to serve in the military without their desire. What is evident here, what is shown in this debate, is a structural problem. Whenever there's a problem, it's shifted onto the younger generation, onto all of us, not onto those who have caused it. Through underfunding, procrastination, cowardice, blind security policies. No, because the young generation will somehow save it.
Another protester urged Germany to abandon its security logic and adopt a logic of peace, emphasizing dialogue, fairness, and addressing global inequalities instead of pursuing policies that appear to seek control over other nations' resources.
Hello, Mr. Merz. If I were Chancellor, I would tell you that it is high time we move away from so-called security logic and toward a logic of peace. Only through a peace-oriented approach is it possible to address, and potentially resolve, the world's conflicts. A logic of peace means reaching out to those who seem to be opponents, trying to understand their motives, and recognizing when there is no justice in the distribution of goods. It is the opposite of a security logic that aims to seize other nations' resources. Such ambitions violate every sense of security and peace among people.
The rally also highlighted competing priorities. Banners demanded investment in healthcare and social services instead of rearmament, with one sign declaring 100,000 nursing staff instead of 800 tanks. Student groups have announced nationwide strikes and mass protests for Friday. Under the draft plan, all 18-year-olds would be surveyed on willingness to serve, as Germany aims to build a force of up to 460,000 soldiers. The proposal has drawn strong criticism from youth and opposition parties, including the Left and BSW, as the Bundestag prepares for Friday's debate.